when we are doing marriage matching, okay, the first thing that is important is to check the charts of the persons concerned who are being matched into that marriage. Okay. So, hello, Sharda. So, now, how do you go about doing? The first step is not about Kundali Milan, as people think. The first step is to first see whether the two charts are matching, in the sense, is their individual seventh houses, the eighth house and the sixth house of the D1 and the D9 good enough? See, when you have two charts coming up for you for marriage matching, if the seventh house of, I have somebody, since all of us here will be practicing it for somebody to see. We are not going to do it for ourselves. We are going to do it for others. So we need to be very aware of that fact that when you are doing that marriage matching, who is the person who's come to you? Okay. Because the person who has come to you for the marriage matching is the person you need to consider first. It always happens with me that when I have two people whose charts I need to check, then what I really do is take the chart of my client. I will say it as the client because the person has come for a query and everything. So what I do is I will always, send it for the client. I will take the client to be the person whose interest is very important for me, is most important for me. So if the chart of the client is at a level which is higher than that of the girl or the boy whose chart he or she wants to be matched with, in that case, I will always tell the person that, see, you are in a better position. So you need to check whether you really want to go with that person. And if the person at the other end has a better chart than the person who's my client, I will tell the person that this is a good match for you. Because if his or her marriage shows a better prospect, then definitely you will, both of you sailing in the same boat, you will be able to cross it. Okay. Because if the other person has a happier married life than you, that means the person will have longevity in marriage. And that means that you will be able to survive the ups and downs of married life. That is very important. Now, is there marriage, is the marriage there in a person's chart? Many a time they will say that, I want marriage, but marriage you will not be able to see only in that person's chart. Okay. So what is the sense here? What is the sense here? So now, what I do is, yes. So first I have to see whether marriage is promised in that person's chart. Okay. So now I'm opening this chart. Okay. Okay. See. So you see that, yes, Sharda, see, this is what you were talking about. Sixth lord in the seventh house.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when we are doing this, all of you, I want you to understand the first step is seeing the client's chart. What all the client's chart has in D1 and D9 to tell me whether marriage is going to happen or not going to happen. The second step of comparing the D1 and D9 of the client and his or her partner will come later. Okay. First, we have to see whether we have the potential of marriage or not. So let's begin there. We take up the Lagna and we take up the seventh house of the D1. In the D1, I find the Lagnesh, I find Saturn, I find Mercury, and I find Venus. Okay, this is a very, is she a professional, Soumya?
Yes, yes, she's working.
And she's working, and is she working at a high post?
Yeah, she's doing social work, but at a that also she's at a high post. Yes, important.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So why do I say all those things? Because, and is that important? Yes, that's very important. I will tell you why. You see, her sun is placed in the 7th house. Okay. And Saturn is also placed in the 7th house. The Saturn is Digbali, one. It will give you an ability to do service for others. However, Sun is the Lagna Lord, which is placed in the 7th house and is aspecting the Lagna. She can be, I am not even looking into the Nakshatras at the moment. I can only tell you that she's a very stubborn and a determined person. Okay. Please say yes or no, Soumya.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
Why am I saying that? Because Saturn, because both the signs are fixed signs, the Lagna and the 7th house. And the Lagna Lord has gone in a fixed house. Okay. The nature of the person is very important. How compliant is the person for a relationship? If most of us are married and we understand that if you're not compliant in a relationship, in the beginning, in a relationship like marriage, it's not going to work far. So she's not compliant to begin with. Again, you see the planet of value, Mercury, though it's retrograde, is placed there. It's lost all its vigor, but it is in the 7th house, the 2nd and the 11th Lord in the 7th house. Her ticket to high society is name and fame. Okay, she has an influence. Okay, and she's very sharp in the mind. Venus is her 10th Lord in the 7th house. Venus is the Karaka for the 7th house, and it is with 2 malefics if you look here. Now let us look at the degrees in this 7th house. See, Sun in Sadvish, boss, she's controlling. Now I'm moving into the Nakshatras also. She is controlling. Soumya,
yes, yes,
I would
yes,
want
yes.
a yes or a no from your part. Okay.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
She's controlling. She's very generous. She's very resourceful, but she's extremely controlling. Okay.
Yes.
And that can, and she would want, I want my partner to be like that. I want my partner to be like this. She could have got into relationships and she could have broken her relationships. Boss, can you see? For those who know Nakshatras, you need to, I mean, they will have an easy access. That is, I'm telling them here. See, she has so many planets in Sadvish. So she can be extremely controlling. And her 7th Lord is combust. Her Saturn is combust.
With the sun.
Okay. So, that
yes,
is
same degree of sun and Saturn. That's why it is combust.
Yes. Yes, same degree. Same. I was saying Pada, and you can see degree is also same. So her sun is 7th Lord is combust. So it's saying that she doesn't have any space in her life for a relationship because she is not willing to share things out. It has to be my way or the highway. And in a relationship, that does not happen. So when such people come to us, what do? We have to counsel them and we have to tell them that you cannot have it your way or the highway. Otherwise, things will not work out for you. Soumya, if you don't mind, can you just switch on your video so that I feel as if you are understanding what I'm talking. It's not for you, but for me. So can you see this, how we are analyzing the entire scenario? When such people come to us for an understanding, we have to tell them that it is for their benefit. If they want to get married, first and foremost, we can see that marriage is not happening. But if it has to happen and if she has to find somebody, then she has to learn the art of compromise. Her sheer determination is the one that is putting her on a platform in the NGO work and everything, where she loses herself, but she's willing to fight for others. But that very point in her married life comes as a kind of a block for her.
Right.
Okay.
Ma'am,
But
in
she
D9
really
also.
wants to. Sorry, I'm sorry. But she really wants to.
But
But
she
it's
is
just
not
not
willing to
working out.
compromise. She may want to, but she's not
Yeah.
willing to compromise on the qualities. See, it's not as if when we were coming down, we did not, for all intents and purposes, we did not ask Lord Brahma to, kind of chisel somebody out in the kind of the list that we have. So, and you will see that your seventh house will always be opposite to what you are. If I am a fire lagna, my seventh house will be an airy lagna. If I am an if my lagna is say Taurus, Venus dominated, my seventh house will be Mars dominated. So I will hit somebody who's not like me, will be different as chalk and cheese all the while. Because that is a lesson that we have to learn from our partners. She's willing to learn that lesson in her work, but she's not willing to learn that lesson in her private life. More so because if she may be staying with her parents, she may feel that she has parents now who are supporting her and everything. What as a youth we don't realize is that, parents will also pass away at certain period of time. And then we will be alone. So that companionship will demand adjustments. In today's day and time, I know for sure that people are not willing to share their bathrooms. Why are we going any further? So that is what I'm trying to tell you, that she's not willing to do that. This is what the chart is telling me. I'm not trying to fit in things, but this is what the chart is telling. And she has
could we say
we'll do the D9. Yes, I'll go to the D9 chart. I will
not about D9, still in D1 only, because it is sixth lord. It is her prarabdha karma also linked here.
Yes, her prarabdha karma is linked here, and it
means Saturn is seventh lord also, no? So
Saturn is sixth and seventh lord. Yes.
When Saturn is placed in own house, so it will give more result about for seventh house, no?
No, yes, Monica, but the fact here also is that the sign of Aquarius is its Mula Trikona Rasi.
Yeah.
So placed in the seventh house in its Mula Trikona Rasi, the basics are the key to everything. So the basic is that Saturn's Aquarius sign is a Mula Trikona Rasi. In the earlier chart, Capricorn was its Swarashi, not Mula Trikona Rashi. So it also gave effects of the 8th house. But here it will give predominant effects of the 7th house.
Yeah, but why I'm telling you this only. The 7th house का result ज़्यादा देगा. Saturn will give more
active as a 7th lord. Yes, yes.
And 3 benefits are with 7th house, 7th lord. Jupiter is aspecting Venus and Mercury, both posited in with Saturn.
Yes, yes. But you see, yes, Jupiter is also aspecting, that is also there. But the thing is that the 7th lord is combust, one.
Yeah.
And the 7th lord, if you go into the nakshatras, the 7th lord here is in Sadvihish, okay, with sun. So it is my way or the highway. Okay. Another thing is that Mars, which is exalted, okay, is aspecting the Lagna from the 6th house. She may go into relationship. I told you right at the beginning that if you have planets in the 6th house, right, she may go into relationships with an intent to, yes, I want to further. She may, the thing is that the 5th lord is in the 3rd house, which is Jupiter. And Jupiter is also aspecting her 7th house, blessing it, and the 7th lord. So there is a blessing. But what happens is she may start as friends with people. She may end up having a relationship with people. I will not call it extramarital because extramarital is seen from the 8th house. It's seen, the 5th house talks about love relationships. She may have a love relationship, and she certainly does, because she's got a Sri Lagna in the 5th house. She's highly intelligent. She's a highly intelligent person who goes to the bottom of things. So what she does is she will go into a relationship, but if certain things are not to her liking and things are not happening the way she wants them to happen, she may end up quarreling with her friends or love interest, and that is the end of the relationship there.
Yes.
Are you understanding, Soumya? Now, if somebody is coming to me with this kind of a chart and says, I really want to get married, I will say, yes, you can get married. There's nothing wrong in somebody. We can all want to get married. But are you willing? Because until and unless you're willing to compromise, that Sadbihish is very strong, that combustion is very strong, the need to overpower people is so strong. If you're willing to set that aside, bring about a change in you, then there is a strong chance of you getting. In fact, there's a strong chance of her getting married now also. This year also. Because Saturn is transiting through her 7th house in the D1.
And Jupiter is in
9th
Aries
house.
sign.
Aries sign in the 9th house.
Now we will not see D9, ma'am.
We will start seeing. Now, the D1 is complete. Now I will take you to D9. Okay. Now see the D9. In the D9, the Lagna Lord has gone in the 3rd house, saying very categorically, as I told you guys, that yes, she wants to be friends with people first.
4th house.
What? 3rd house.
3rd house only.
Okay, okay. Lagna Lord.
Yeah. So she wants to be friends with people. Okay. 2. I will also take the Lord of the 4th house also. I will take the Lord of the D1 also to 7th Lord of the D1, point things out. But again, you see that, as I told you, the Rahu-Ketu axis matters. It's again in the 6-12 axis. Okay. I can tell you that she's also had, and again I repeat, none of us are here to pass judgments on anybody, because all of us have our fair share of idiosyncronicities. But we can say that she does go into a physical relationship, and then she somehow moves out of that area.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The 12th house is signifying all that. And they might have, and in fact, they might have a lot of problems. It's not about physical attraction. Physical attraction is there. It's their fights and the conversations that they have in the bedroom that ends up destroying the relationship. Okay, so you do have the ability to see the chart to that level. That is why I always tell people, don't take up charts of your loved ones, because it gives you excessive information that you really don't want to see. Okay. Okay. So
that is because of Rahu and Mars there.
Mars in the 12th house is bed pleasures. Okay. Now let's see the 7th house. The 7th Lord has gone in the 8th house. And the Venus, the Karaka of marriage, is sitting in the 7th house. Okay. And that's not bad. I wouldn't call that bad. But you see that the 7th Lord is also again being aspected by Rahu here. And the 7th Lord of the D1 is also being aspected by Rahu here. I would also say that if she's working on an international level, she can also be having friends who are out of, the kind of, she's not getting attracted to the male or the people of her caste and creed. She could be getting attracted to people who are outside of a caste and creed, and that can also, if she learns to kind of subdue herself, she can then go ahead with the alliance. The major thing that's coming up here is a ego, which must go. Okay. So have you understood that the first part is to thoroughly analyze whether marriage is possible in that chart or no. Now I'll take you to something more interesting. So anything that I said here, Soumya, that was not matching?
No, it was bang on.
Okay. So now we move into the AMSA rulers. What are the AMSA rulers? For those who have done divisional charts, they will know what the AMSA rulers are. For those who haven't, I'll give you a brief. The AMSA rulers, as per BPHS, are every chart is designated certain rulers, certain devatas to it. It can be Nagas, it can be anything, but they are assigned certain beings to it. Okay. And the beings assigned to BPH, not just BPHS, most classics. Okay. And they help me. I do not know about others. I'm sure there are many others like Kamilaji who use these deities, so to speak of, to understand the divisional charts. I use them extensively, and because we are doing the marriage, so here I need to give you a preview to the deities of the D9. What are the deities of the D9? The deities of the D9 are just three: Devta, Manushya, and Rakshas. So if I have to, if all of us nowadays work on the platform, on the computer, we are not doing it ourselves. So you will get it in Jehora if you go to the basics, and the key info will come to you. Right at the bottom, you have something called the AMSA rulers. Go there and you click. On the right click, if I'm doing the D2, I'll get the deities of the D2. If I'm doing D7, I'll get the deities of the D7. If I'm doing D9, which we are doing now, we'll get the deities of the D9. The very important deity for me here is the Lagna of the D9. It's the seventh lord of the D1 and the seventh lord of the D9. Okay. Okay. They're all in the Deva Amsha here. Basically, she can be arrogant, but she is a nice person. And what she's looking for is a person. What brings out the venom in her is when people lie, when people talk, when people are not honest. Okay. And one of the qualities that she's really looking for in a person is honesty.
So she had a very difficult childhood because her parents had a really bad marriage.
Yes,
and that's why I think the trust
I can see
issue
that.
in other people is there.
410 axis. Rahu-Ketu in the 410 axis. 4th house Rahu and 10th house Ketu is very bad for parental married life. Sorry to interrupt. Please kindly continue.
No, so that's what I'm saying. That's why I think she's extremely choosy because she's seen a bad marriage growing up. So she's extremely choosy when she's choosing a partner for herself.
And she expects honesty in the marriage, right? That's why when they are not honest, she gets too wild, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because of Satavish there.
Yeah. She expects people to live up to their promises because she lives up to everybody's promise. But you are going to have lessons, and see, I understand that her parents' married life was not good. So her father was probably dishonest in the married life. Okay. And her mother that's the reason her mother probably became a very bitter person.
Yes.
Okay. So this all can be understood better with the Nakshatras, honestly. So that is why so probably she had a bitter experience, but you could always tell the person that, see, if we keep judging our future with our past, we are not going to be better off than those cavemen. Again, why am I spending so much time in explaining this chart to you? Is because you have to explain to the client in that manner, so that you can convince them we are not just astrologers. Earlier astrologers were also counselors. We are losing out on that ability, and what we are doing is now 18 point mile, 18 points are matched, so we are going to give you that matching. This is done. No, this is not. You have to counsel and say that what if I live as a you know, if I stay on as a, what should I say, as judging myself from what I was in the past, I'll be a very poor person, because I will never be able to explore different dimensions of life. I'll be stuck somewhere. And she is basically stuck. She's living in the past. She will have to give people a chance. I understand that she may not want to get herself hurt. That is why she's rejecting others before they reject her.
Yeah.
But love is all about accepting hurt and then moving on. I can get philosophical and say that that helps you understand that no, there's nobody, and I can get pretty philosophical with that. But I don't want to move into that tangent, because we're talking about things very materialistic like marriage. So I will have to tell the person that you have to be open to her. That's all right to be hurt. That's your life lesson that you're here to. And if you don't experiment it in this lifetime, probably another lifetime, you will have to come and live the same thing time and time again. So better to experience it and get over and done with it. Is that understood, everybody? Have I made my point clear to all of you?
Yes. But
Yes.
does the exalted Venus in the 7th house, in the Navamsha, also say this, that, you know, the expectation of love is very intense, and probably
She's willing to go all the way. Why her? She's willing to go all the way for anybody she loves. But for that,
is that Venus in Uttarabhadra?
but for that, yes, I'll check. But for that, she wants the person to first go through the test of fire. It's in Revati. She wants the person to go through the test of fire before she hands over her heart to the person, and then accepts everything that, you know, and then go all out for the person. The person, again, this is something that we'll be doing it later. Okay. We'll see where Venus is placed. We'll be doing it on a later date, but I'll just check out. Yes. So she will be able to do so much more for the person concerned. Yes. She will be able to do so much more for the person concerned on a later date. But first, the person has to prove himself. That's her entire contention. Okay. Okay. Yes, Meenaji, I heard you open your mic for a couple of seconds and then shut it. Do you have
I said I did understand a little bit. Yes, it was very good.
Okay. So you did understand. Is there any question that you have? Any question that you have?
I'm still like like a baby crawling, and I'm still trying to understand. So no doubts at all at this moment.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next, where anybody has a chart of a couple and wants to give, and I can then move on and show what are the problems that a couple can have. We'll do Kundali Milan in the next chart, okay, in the next class, and then we'll move on fairly from there, because we have to do things step by step. The first step is looking into the D1 of the person coming to us and the D9, and then now if he or she has a chart that needs to be matched. And imagine that we are taking an hour just to see the chart D1 and D9 of the person coming to us. In the 30 minutes or the 40 minutes that you give to a person to be able to do their chart matching, you have to do it all. So you have to be very fast in it. Okay. Do you have the chart? Anybody has a chart of the a chart of a couple that needs to be done? That can be seen. Monica, recording बंद कर दो, तुमको ही चढ़ाना है.